Hello, this is Tasman, the Assistant State Coordinator of National History Day in Wisconsin. Today, I'll give you a guideline to how you can assemble a documentary. If you aren't set on choosing the documentary format for your project, consider your skills and interests. If you love working with technology, this could be a good fit for you. Make sure that your topic has many images available. While students with limited pictures or video have made successful documentaries in the past, it has taken a lot more work. If your topic is from ancient history or was not well documented visually, you may want to consider a different category, such as a paper or performance. When you start to lay out your project, consider what you like seeing when you watch historical documentaries. Ken Burns films are probably the best example to turn to. Finally, always keep the NHD criteria in the back of your mind. How can you show your research in your documentary? Images are one way, but be sure your script highlights your hard work. Also, be sure you have a strong thesis statement that your script follows, just like when you write an essay. Before you start thinking about recording or editing your documentary, plan it out. You should have a complete script that can almost read like an essay, and like all NHG projects, the center of your project should be your thesis statement. This is a rough look at how your documentary could be laid out. A title screen can give a short teaser of what your topic is, followed by a short introduction. After this introduction should come your thesis statement, your main argument and the center of your project. After the thesis, bring in some background. Give us the context to your topic. Also make sure to elaborate on the who, what, where, when, and why in this area. Who was involved? What happened? Where? And why was it important? This will lead to you describing your main event. This is where you explore your topic and flesh out your argument for your thesis statement. After this, many students find it helpful to explore the short-term and long-term impacts your topic had. Examining short-term impacts provides great space for you to show off your primary sources and long-term to show off your secondary sources. This is a good space to show why your topic is important. Finally, have a strong conclusion. Just like in an essay, restate your main arguments and evidence and restate your thesis statement. Throughout your introduction, body, and conclusion, you should be weaving in the theme words. After your conclusion, you must run your credits. See the NHD rulebooks for more specifics about these. So now that you have your script, make sure it contains the following: a solid topic. Don't try and cover too much in a broad topic or too little in a project that doesn't fill 10 minutes. A good thesis. Remember that the thesis should change as you work on your project. Plenty of research. If your script doesn't include a solid context section and a lot of evidence to back up your argument, go back to the library. And good quotes. This is part of doing your good research. As you work on your project, you should be editing your script. Having an up-to-date script will save you editing time on the actual documentary, and any documentary student can tell you that it's easier to edit a Word document than a video. Something that's always important to know is the rules. When you should be familiar with the rules in general, page 28 of the rulebook, which can be read in full online, has specific rules for the documentary category. One of the most important documentary rules is the 10-minute time limit. Judges will also give you 5 minutes to set up and 5 minutes to take down your documentary. It's always a good idea to get into your room before judging starts for the day and test your documentary. Everywhere will have a different setup, so have at least 3 different versions of your film: on a DVD, a flash drive, and online, like on YouTube. Hard copies of your bibliography and process paper are also required. Be sure to have extra copies for each judge. Now that we've covered the basics and some rules, let's go through the tips. First of all, be sure to have a lot of images and/or video clips. 10 minutes may not seem like long, but you should only show an image for about 5 seconds, and that calls for a lot of different pictures. While interviews are not required, they are nice to use in a documentary since you can film the person you are interviewing. However, be sure it's a quality interview and not just filmed to take up time. Tips on whether you should conduct an interview and how to have a good one can be found from the national office online at nhd.org. Be sure to show off your hard work. As we've said, discussing the impact your topic had is a good way to examine what people during the time thought of your topic and why it's important now. Again, do not forget the theme words. Weave them throughout your project to show you've connected to the theme and thoroughly understand it. Add music to your project, just like in a professional documentary. Having music from the time period is especially important. Remember to save your documentary in many formats. There's nothing more stressful than getting to a competition and not being able to play your finished product. This has been a lot of information. The most important thing to keep in mind is that this is about the content, not the glitz. Some of your photos may not be the best quality, or you may not have fancy effects. More than a snazzy title screen, you should focus on the history first. Watching examples of past successful documentaries is the best way to see what you could do yourself. Here's a link to our YouTube channel playlist of sample documentaries. First on this list is Lance Letelier's project about the Ojibwe spearfishing controversy, which won second place in the junior individual documentary category at Nationals in 2014. All of these documentaries are examples of great NHD projects. Like we already said, the most important part is the content of your project, the history. This pie chart shows how judges weigh different aspects of your documentary. So be sure to spend the most time on your script and flow of your documentary, making sure that it's clearly understood and that it relates to the theme, and then think about the fancy details. Thank you for watching. We hope this was helpful and that you have fun creating your documentary.